Hi, welcome to Jen's Daily Dish. Today we're going to make Cinna-Buns, or should I say Cinna-YUMS. Let's get started. The recipe calls for 4.5 cups of flour, which is already in the bowl. 2 large eggs, room temperature. I cracked them earlier, they are room temperature. 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter, which I've cut up to get to room temperature faster. 1 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup granulated sugar, 2.5 teaspoons instant yeast, find it, look on Amazon, and a cup of lukewarm milk, which is actually the first thing on the ingredient list, but I'm adding it last. Now let's take it over to my very favorite appliance, the mixer. Get it started, lock it in, make a smooth, soft dough. Some of the flour wasn't incorporating, so feel free to press it down into it as it's mixing it up. That looks about right. It looks soft. Looks like a soft dough. It feels soft. It's not too sticky. It is just right. We're gonna put it in the oiled bowl for about 1 to 2 hours to let it rise almost double. Don't forget to grease all sides once it's in the bowl. While the dough is resting, I've read the directions and I'm getting ahead of it. I'm going to mix the cup of brown sugar. This is light brown sugar that I think it's fine to use versus dark. And the 3 tablespoons of cinnamon are going in. I'm gonna mix those two together and we will continue to wait for the dough. It's okay that there are some lumps in here because it's going to be spread out onto the dough and it will still be super yummy. This is rested for about 1.5 hours and it looks much bigger than it was before. Now what we need to do is roll it out into a 16 by 21 inch rectangle. So I'm going to start by just flattening it out with my fingers. Now I'm ready for my trusty roller and I'm looking at my measurements here. Here's 16 and I need to go all the way to 21. All right, we've gotten it to about 21 by 16. It's close enough. We're gonna go ahead and spread the 5 tablespoons of butter over the entire thing. Now that the butter is down, we've got a cup of light brown sugar in here, along with 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. That's all mixed up, and we're gonna go ahead and put that on top of this evenly. I know what you're thinking, that's a lot of sugar and butter. Exactly, that's the point. It's super delicious. Now I'm gonna roll it up from the short side, which is the 16-inch side, and then we're gonna cut it into 12 slices. Now I cut them into 12 equal slices and I'm going to place them in the pan. I'll let them rest with plastic wrap for about 30 minutes, and then we'll come back and check on them. They should have doubled in size by then. You'll see, these are not the prettiest things you've ever seen. I'd be kicked off that baking show so fast, but they will be yummy. All right, these have nearly doubled. The oven is heated up to 400 degrees. Into the oven they go. Let's go ahead and make the icing. So we have the 1/3 cup of cream cheese and the 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. They've been sitting out at room temperature for a while, so they should be soft. I have the 1½ cups of confectioner sugar. I know what you're thinking. There's a lot of sugar and butter in this recipe. You know what? It's all good. It's delicious. And I have my 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now we're gonna go ahead and beat this all together. And yes, I could have my mixer do this, but I'm gonna get started with the spatula and then I'm gonna go with my fork. And it should all mix together just fine. I'm giving my mixer a little bit of a break. I've gotten it to the point where it's nice and creamy, and I've gotten a major arm workout in the process and raised my heart rate. But it's at a good place, so I'm gonna let this sit and wait until the dough is done. And this is your baker's right. You get to taste it. It's delicious. Time to take them out. Look at these lovelies. These look awfully good. Not perfect, but delicious. We're gonna wait for them to cool down for just a moment, and then we're gonna put the icing on. Take a look at this one. It was even starting to tear apart. It doesn't matter because we're gonna cover the whole thing with icing. Let's go. Now let's try one, my favorite part. Oh my goodness. Yum. That is so good. It is so good. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Wow. Don't hesitate to make these yourself. Seriously, if I can do this, you can do this too. Subscribe if you enjoy what you watch. Share with your friends. Let's have everybody make Cinna-Buns.